YouTube viewers, Rectangular back, this time with another episode of Wrecked and Tangled, where I show some of the behind the scenes of the A.C.B.A. that I have been attempting to do. Now, I am new to the art, and what I've been attempting to do in my haul videos is kind of force myself to do something with figures that I get in my haul, and that's basically so that I can practice. And I think it's good for everybody to be forced to use figures that may not be their favorite characters or may not be the best for A.C.B.A. as far as articulation goes, and you know, just kind of to challenge yourself, because I think that a lot of people get in a habit of using their favorite figures or their favorite characters or figures that are really well articulated, and it, in a way, kind of becomes a crutch. So I didn't want to fall into that, and you know, I need practice, and this is a good way for me to practice. Anyway, so this first picture came from haul video. Well, actually, both these pictures came from haul video number 45. I had received my M.O.D.O.K skeletons in the mail, and I knew that when I love skeletons, and that's why I got them, but I knew that after I got my M.O.D.O.K that I wanted to do the setup with M.O.D.O.K coming back. This was an issue of Miss Marvel. Can't remember which issue it is off the top of my head, but it was or issue of Miss Marvel where M.O.D.O.K had basically got kicked out of A.I.M, or basically there was a coup within A.I.M, and he decided to try to retake the organization by force, and he came back, and in this first shot you see him approaching these A.I.M agents of A.I.M, these A.I.M scientists, and he tells them to kneel, and you know, I guess they don't move fast enough, so then he vaporizes them. And so in this first shot, this was before we got the new A.I.M soldiers from, or A.I.M agents of A.I.M from the Captain America wave, and I didn't have any customs, so I wanted to try my hand at using cutouts from the actual comic. So I went to my digital version of the comic book, brought it up, and basically copied the image, the panel, and then resized it and printed out the comic just on my my home printer. Printed out the page on my home printer, and then I cut out the A.I.M soldiers in basically two sections, so they were not attached to each other. And then I used the little cardboard holders. They're like little plastic discs that come with the old Toy Biz figures that had a like cardboard insert that you could prop up behind the figure to use as a background. And so I got a piece of paper and folded it basically in half, and then I stuck that in between put the cutout so that it would have some way of holding it up. I used some blue tape, painter's tape, so that the cutout wouldn't stick to the paper too much, so it wouldn't tear. And so I had that holding it up, and hopefully you can see that here in the next shot, which is one of the behind the scenes shots. So basically M.O.D.O.K is about 6-8 inches away from the cutouts, and the camera is angled down below, so you can't see, how the cutouts are being held up. And then I used a toothpick and some blue sticky tack on the side of M.O.D.O.K, and stuck the sticky tack on the side of his head, and then used the toothpick to hold the cutout in front of him. And it was pretty difficult to get the angle right so that you don't see the sticky tack or the toothpick. The other thing I forgot to mention was that I experimented with different colors for the background until I settled on the darker green. So I'll go ahead and show those pictures in sequence, and I think you guys will agree with me that the green was the best one to use. I don't think I had purple at the time. I was having a hard time finding it. Eventually found purple paper at my Kmart. So I may have, I don't think I had the purple paper at the time, but anyway, here they are. Now I'm going to show some video, and that should pretty much speak for itself. I'm going to go into depth about the second shot and the setup that shows the skeletons. So here we have my setup for the second shot in the scene, and using my shorter tripod to get down below here, so I had it mounted on there. And so this was basically the angle that I was shooting from, and I was using a 1:1 ratio for the perspective. So right now I'm shooting in widescreen video, which is at 16:9. So 1:1 is going to be just a straight square box, which I needed to keep it confined since I had such a short space to use to keep M.O.D.O.K in the scene, and keep all the cutouts close together, especially in the first scene with these A.I.M soldier cutouts. I had to have it cropped pretty tight so that they weren't oop, I got those reversed like so. In fact, it was a little bit tighter than that. And so I had a very limited box to work in order to be able to crop or get close enough, crop the shot so that you didn't see, the edge of the cutouts. And basically had to do the same thing over here, so that they were kept the same perspective. The only thing that I was not happy with the way that it turned out is the green was darker in the second shot than in the first. I was trying to light the cutouts and the skeletons, and had taken away some of the positioning of my lights. Instead of pointing them back, I was pointing them more down, and so that took away light from the background, and so then it was darker. So what I got here is a painter's light. It's on my main tripod, which is taller. I have a painter's light attached to there, and I have a red light bulb. It's not really going to show up that red on camera, but it is a red fluorescent light bulb, and used some aluminum foil to keep the red light from hitting M.O.D.O.K, and was having a lot of hard time keeping this cutout from being red. You can just kind of see it on the edge, on the top edge in the corner here. And, you know, keeping the red on the skeletons and keeping it off M.O.D.O.K and the other cutouts. So that was a challenge. So I had to remove the legs off of that back skeleton because I couldn't quite get him at the right height, and Pharaoh Black pointed out that he should be actually a little bit lower, but I'm pretty happy with the way they turned out, especially with the angle, with the sound effect coming basically out of his mouth. So you can see the cutout is on a flight stand there, you know, which from straight on you can see it, but when you're angled really low like this, it is being obscured by the skeleton. You can't see the flight stand, and then it's just barely touching the top of his head there, so that turned out pretty well. And then this other skeleton is just the accessory piece, and I used some sticky tack to put him on that that base or stand. I just grabbed whatever was nearby just to get him propped up, and at first it was pretty difficult. The sticky tack, once it gets warm, it doesn't maintain its shape all that well, so he kept wanting to tilt a little bit. So that was, when I was first setting up the shot, it was pretty tricky to get him to stay still. What else can I say? And see, you got that basically for that flame effect cutout. I took the picture from the comic book and cropped out or actually used the clone stamp in Photoshop, or actually I use paint.net as a free utility, and cloned all the colored areas over the skeletons and the sound effect piece in the shot, and then printed it and cut it out. And it was difficult trying to get the top of the edge of the cutouts to not, basically when you go over it with a Sharpie, it gets kind of glossy, and the light, when the light is hitting directly on it, it looks kind of like it's got a white effect, or it doesn't look like you cut it out all that well, or you didn't touch it up with a marker. So that I had to go back and touch up with more black and angle the light a little bit better. So yeah, that's pretty much the setup. Initially I had M.O.D.O.K on 2 boards. Oh, and I used this this light in the front to, when I was taking the shot, I would hold this up so that I could have more light on the skeletons come from the side. So these are really nice lamps from IKEA. They're like $5 each, and they're on they have this flexible, these are LEDs with this flexible neck. And these guys are when you get mint on card Toy Biz Marvel Legends, they came with these, most of them came with these little plastic stands for the paper background or the card that came with the figure, so that you could cut out the card and have your own little scene. You could do your own little A.C.B.A. And so I just saved all these, and come in really handy for holding up cutouts like this. And basically I just used a 3x5 card and folded it in half, and then used blue painter's tape to attach the cutout to the 3x5 card, and then you can angle it when it's in there nice, and you can angle it to get it lined up for the shot. So like the edge there, you might have to move it a little bit forward or back to get it cropped properly. And I guess that's pretty much it. This figure is on this improvised stand I had to make, where it's just a twist tie, really long twist tie, kind of folded up into a triangle, into a kind of like a pyramid, and it's going up there into his pelvis. So yeah, I think it turned out really well, and the cutout here is on a toothpick. I learned that trick from John Connor. I'm sure he's probably not. He wasn't the first to come up with it, but learned from watching one of his videos how he was able to get the cutout on there. So it's a cutout with it's a toothpick with sticky tack stuck to the side, and then a little bit of sticky tack on the back of the cutout. And from Bob the Odd, I learned putting packing tape on the back of the cutout before you cut it out. Keeps it stiff, and also allows you to use sticky tack or wax without damaging the cutout itself. So yeah, let me know what you guys think, and thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, hit like, and leave a comment below. Alright, talk to you guys later. Bye.